What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada, and with my co-host, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know, and they lit the beam last night. What's good, Spread Astaire? How are you doing?
Yeah, fun game last night. Tied going into halftime, and we did a little playback show on the Run Pure Sports. Have you seen this playback app?
No, I'm not a. I
So
don't know
it's
about
called
this.
playback, and it basically, like, if you and I want to do it, we're at the bottom of the game, and then you can hear us talking, and you stream the
Right.
game, but you can see the game, but our little faces are in the corner. Anyways, I was basically saying, like, hey, I bet you the Pelicans just fold here in the second half. Road trip, high pace game, and that's exactly what happened. So the Kings got another win. And, I told you I was a little late today because we're having a debate on the other show, and I wanted to ask
Okay.
you about it. What do you think? Because, the Kings are in third, the Memphis Grizzlies are in second. What do you think is going to happen with John Morant? I'm hearing rumors of a 50-game suspension. I'm saying there's no way that he's suspended 50 games, but a lot of people seem to think that this is going to happen. What do you think of this possible 50-game suspension?
I'm gonna have to reach out to my guy Jeff out in Memphis. Him and his crew, they're pretty connected around Memphis with the happenings and what's going on around there. I mean, we've been friends for oh man many years. I'm gonna check in with him anytime anything's going on in Memphis. He usually has the ear to the streets on what's happening. But um, if they're saying that, that means intel. I know you've heard about the Carmelo Anthony situation when David Stern called him into his office and suspended him and told him uh, that they know where he sleeps, knows where he eats, everything. When you sign up with the NFL and the NBA, you're dealing with billionaire owners. Unfortunately, even though you're a human, you're one of their, tools to use in their livelihood to advance in life. So therefore, they look at you as an investment and a big investment because they're paying these guys hundreds of millions of dollars. And the way that they seem to secure their investments is by getting ex-CIA, ex-FBI to follow these guys. And if you come from the intel world, the little small uh, things that these kids do nowadays, they put everything, their whole business is on the phone. We didn't come from that era. Their whole
Right.
business is on the text messages, on their social media. So they make it pretty easy for the police to find out what they're doing. So if they're saying that, that means it's something that's really serious that's going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Otherwise, it's baloney. Because if it's just from the little gun
Well, so the
situation,
idea is if he had the gun in Denver in that strip club, that he brought it on the plane with him, and that's what the suspension would be.
now this is where it comes down to: do you have Michael Vick type friends, or do you have Allen Iverson type friends?
That's what I'm saying. I
Right
said
now,
one of his friends is going
and
to say,
we're
"I
about to
gave it to
see.
him." Yeah,
He
I
better.
think
He
one of his
better. If
friends.
he's smarter, he wouldn't be around anymore. Because what's
Yeah,
the like Michael Irvin said a long time ago, you gotta have a fall guy. I know people don't want to hear that.
that was Chris Carter who said that.
Excuse
I
me,
remember
Chris
that.
Carter.
Yeah,
Pardon
yeah.
me.
I
Yeah,
brought that
but
up too. Yeah,
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 yeah. I don't. I hate to let people deal with reality, but that's what we do on our podcast. It's raw and uncut. We don't have any sponsors telling us what to do, so we're gonna just tell you how it is. And the facts is, if you got all these hanger owners around you, even if he did that idiotic move and somehow packed that pistol and got on a plane like a dummy and flew there because they don't go through customs or anything because they're the NBA.
yeah.
I'm sure they're flying private so he can just jump on with his bag. If he made that mistake and none of his friends, if the cops really start squeezing on them because they're making a big mess out of it in Colorado, man, and um, you know how we talked about these district attorneys, like we just saw the situation in Georgia. They like to get their shine, so
Mhm.
they're gonna do their best to make it into a store. If it's not one, we remember what happened with the late great Kobe Bryant in Colorado. So John Morant should be very careful. Hopefully, he learns from this. Hopefully, he has a fall guy. Hopefully, it doesn't even get pursued by the police. They just see it as a kid being dumb. Maybe they can get an affidavit from a security guard or something inside the club that'll say this was a toy gun or something. All it takes is one payoff. You know how it goes. So
Yeah,
if he
yeah.
knows how to move correctly and he gets the right affidavit into, the district attorney's office, then he should be clear. But if he's not, if they don't know what they're doing and they don't know how to, make things move in the real world and get out of trouble, then he's gonna be in a bad situation. He got those shoes coming out on April Fool's Day. How about that on April Fool's Day? Nike
Yeah.
released it. Anyway, so he has these shoes coming out. They're gonna cancel all of that if he gets charged with a crime in Colorado and gets 50 games. So it's after arrogance comes to fall. So hopefully, young John Morant learns to be humble and understand that you can't move like that. You're a young boy, man. You got everything in front of you. The whole league messing with you. You were one of the more popular players in the NBA. And all of a sudden it took a turn because you start interacting with people on Twitter. That's how it all really started.
Yeah.
And playing tough guy and all that's immaturity, man. If you're getting your $200 million, why the hell do you give a damn what any little guy in Iowa City is typing on a on a
I know,
computer
huh?
or a phone to you? Like, I could care less what you
While
say.
you
You
got
like
dudes in a 3 bedroom apartment with six people living in there, right? Driving a car built in 1999, and you worried about what he's saying?
driving you crazy. You let them drive you crazy on here. They're like saying
Yeah,
just the most stuff because they know that they're pushing your buttons. Because I've went through some of his threads before. Because when I have free time, one of the things that I enjoy doing, if I have a free 15, 10 minutes, I'll go look at a thread and just see what the people are talking about. Because I always like to hear the thing about Twitter is great. You can see what people are thinking. And
exactly. Yeah,
kind of get the pulse of the nation on different topics and things. And man, they were really roasting him, man. And you were surprising to me how many people he answered back. Even KD, KD plays with a little bit, but it's more like being coy and understanding this the internet. He's not telling anybody like, yeah, keep playing with me. I'm gonna show you, like
yeah,
we gonna pull up. Like, what the hell are you
yeah.
talking about, man? What are you doing? So I don't know. I can admit myself. I'm a guy that comes from actually where is pretending that he comes from. His dad's probably from, or his grandmother and aunt's from. And I'm proud that I was able to elevate above that situation. But I do struggle at times, myself with when you got little guys shooting stuff at you and talking mess. But I'm not worth $600 million either. You know what I mean? So you
Right.
know I just hope that he can understand it, man. As Jay Z says, it's not a businessman. I'm a businessman. So he's not a businessman anymore. He's a business. So I hope that Ja can get out of the situation, man. Because I'd hate to see him fall over such stupidity.
I mean, I personally hope it doesn't happen. I mean, he didn't even shoot anyone. Like, yeah, it was dumb, but I mean,
Yeah, he didn't
way
do
worse
anything
stuff
worth
has
50,
happened than
50 games, but I
trying to
understand what they're
act like all
saying.
he's trying to do is act like he's in a rap video, right? He showed a gun on a video
Yeah,
with
that's
girls,
exactly what
right?
he's trying to
You,
do. And he was
we've
rapping a
seen we've seen
song.
those videos
Yeah.
since he was 7 years old. He didn't
And
he didn't
that's what
hurt
all
anyone.
started this mess, though. YouTube hip hop videos. I remember when this stuff first started going on, I couldn't believe it because it was just against the code of everything that I grew up on. Like, we grew up on not telling people our business when we were doing things that we weren't supposed to be doing. You didn't flash that or promote that because you knew the consequences, and those was jail time, man, or even death sometimes. And so I don't understand what's up with these new kids, and this all goes back to social media, man. Like, you give these people platforms, and everyone doesn't deserve a platform, even though they think they do.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because all it takes is $20 a month now to be able to broadcast your thoughts. So yeah, just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Let me know what you hear. I would just be surprised. I think someone's going to take the 7 figure payoff and be like, it was me. I brought the weapon, right?
They better, like, they
Yeah,
should. He shouldn't even have to pay him that much. He probably could just
yeah.
give him like 5 pounds of weed and like 50 grand or something. Yeah, man, because it's not a real case. It's not gonna be something like okay, you
Yeah,
you you had a gun here. He has to find someone in Colorado. I'm sure you're an NBA guy. You've been in the AAU circles. You should have someone in every city. So find your Denver friend, Jai, and do what you need to do, man.
All right, let's just dive into these games, but we'll be interested to see how that scenario plays out because that would definitely weaken the NBA playoffs. The first game I want to talk about, the Boston Celtics, man. They go to overtime again. So they played 11 overtime games this season now. Um,
Unbelievable.
and they can't get it done. Grant Williams, I'm going to make both, misses both free throws. I'm sitting there. I say, I can't believe he missed both free throws. We were
Did you
watching it
see
on
what
the
LeBron
playback.
tweeted after that?
Yeah, I don't see why he's saying that stuff, though.
He said
Is
that
that who
I
is he
looked at
talking
some of
about?
these guys. I see some of these guys in the NBA, and I know Bronny can play the league. I say, man, it, King must have sat back and smoked one today, or he was drinking or something.
Yeah,
Because,
he must have
dude,
been
you know
drinking.
better than to do that, man. What's
Yeah.
wrong with you? Don't do that, man.
Don't
Even if
put a
you
target
believe
on your
that.
son. Yeah, you put a target. Everyone gonna try and cross him up now.
Oh man, oh man. But
Yeah,
anyway, to the game. On the game aspect, I jumped in live. And I got Cavs with like plus 7.5 or something early, and I just thought it was dead. I stopped watching the game. I had two games turned out that way from yesterday. I just checked it on the phone, and it was voila. So maybe I need to start doing that more instead of watching all these games sometimes, you know. So it ended up working out for me right where the Cavs were able to come back, man, and they covered the in game bet. And whoever got the -3.5 the night before, that's why it's so important to get these early lines sometimes. We actually got a couple of today that's coming up that we're going to talk about some early NBA lines that I like. But it's important to get them early. If you got that 3.5, you had a miracle. That 6.5, you were stuck. You never caught up.
yeah. So interesting game there. I'm not trying to make too much of it. The Celtics essentially punted that
Ah.
game by sitting Jason Williams, and they were still pretty close to getting it done. But Grant Williams, you got to make one of those free throws.
Well, I
Uh,
tell you
the,
something about the Celtics. The Celtics aren't going. They're playing worse as the season goes on. And the reason why is because now we're starting to see the youth of their coach. Mazzulla is a really good coach, but
that's
I
what
think that he's
Tyler
going to
says
have
too.
problems. He's going to
That's
have
Tyler says
problems
too.
when the playoffs start. He's starting to get exposed slowly but surely. And a coach, my guy Coach Goodman, he was just talking about it too. Me and him were having a brief conversation on Twitter about that, and he said that they're going to really miss their old coach because he's a man amongst men, so they respect him, and he's a stand-up guy, and it makes him be accountable, and this guy's going to be their friend, so Missoula's going to be a good coach. He showed everything that tells me that he will be a good coach, but I don't think they're not going to the finals. At first, I thought that they were a lock to go, and the more I'm looking at it, it's looking like Milwaukee. And actually, if the Knicks can somehow, get in the mix, the Knicks look really good, man. I would not be surprised if Knicks make can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Every year I fall for the 76ers, and they're getting me to do it again, of course, with that big win over
I'm not.
Milwaukee
You
in the
you
weekend.
notice I didn't say
I was
I
going to
didn't.
throw them in there. Every year I fall for it, and every
uh,
year I look stupid.
if Embiid doesn't get hurt, they have a chance. But
Yeah.
Embiid has shown that he cannot endure the whole playoff run.
This is the best he's had around him, though, his
Yeah,
whole time there. I mean, this is a solid
yeah.
team front to back. The Anthony Melton, the sneaky good pickup there for the team. I didn't get
Super
it done
sneaky.
on my pick. Watched that game, and you know who got me was Podol.
Yeah,
Going right at Jokic, going
yeah.
right at Jokic, and man, I don't know how Scott Foster's still in the league. Now it benefited me because we almost got the push because of
Right.
Scott Foster's antics.
Yeah.
But once, I mean, that last minute of the game was terrible. They just took over
Oh,
the game. They calling everything. It was really bad. So
yeah.
I didn't get it home. It probably shouldn't even been close. The Raptors had a good chance to win that game outright. So Raptors now won 9 of their last 13. Of course, they fell last night, but I thought that was a good showing against one of the best teams in the NBA. Did you have eyes on it? And do you have any thoughts besides Scott Foster's got to go? I mean, it was just
No,
terrible.
I didn't watch it because I knew that line stunk. I knew one of the games either it was going to be you guys against the Pelicans or the Nuggets and the Raptors because the lines were too tight for my projections for that game was like a 9 and they had it at 6.5.
I
So
had it on
I
9
just
too.
stayed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of just stayed away from it because I was rooting for you to get it and for the viewers to get it, but I just stayed away from it simply because I know how these guys do. They dangle these carrots in the NBA, And you know how I am about that public betting. And
Yeah.
when you, especially in the NBA and the NFL, you must think like a line maker when you're looking at these lines. And that line was fishy.
I'll tell you what I got wrong on that game. The Raptors just kill the Nuggets on the boards. They just kept getting
Yeah.
offensive rebounds, and that's what allowed them to get the lead.
Second
And now with
opportunities. Yeah.
total in there, right? Instead of the team kind of being small with a bunch of forwards, they do have a center and a bunch of forwards, and they just can't keep them off the glass. Jamal Murray, hot and cold, but we saw what he can do. And
Yeah.
if he didn't get hot, I think the Raptors could have won that game by 10. Let's go to college basketball world. Furman -4. You probably had eyes on that one. What'd you see?
Oh yeah, we rolled on that one. We didn't give it out in the Ball and Parlay, but I told you guys that I would be riding on that game, and just as we expected, Furman established itself. Great player in Slauson that they have. They got on them early. They went up about 20 in the first half, and then it ended up being a single-digit lead at halftime, but they were able to hold on in the second half. Pretty much was never in doubt. Furman is, as I said, one of those teams that they're veteran laden. They can shoot. One of the best mid-major teams over the last couple of years we've seen in college basketball, and I knew that they were going to be seeking to get back to the tournaments since they had the best team in the SoCon.
All right. The next game, your alma mater, Louisiana Lafayette. How'd they do?
Hey man, they came through in the clutch. Just like you were saying, how you talked about Podal was going to be the problem, and that he ended up showing up. I blew up this guy Jordan Brown, and my wife and I was sitting in the living room watching this game. We wanted this little kid out the game immediately. He's supposed to be the best player on the court. He had an absolutely terrible game. I don't know if it was the traps that South Alabama was bringing and how they were bringing them from blind spots, and it really just exposed a lot of weaknesses in this game. He was a turnover machine when they trapped him, man. And if not for the hustle and the play of the wings and the intelligence of their coach, he saw the traps coming, he started dragging a wing behind, so he splashed Jordan Brown so that they double him, and they know they've been having success making them turn over, so they're coming hard and charging. He started dragging the wing who was normally sitting at the 3-point line right behind him, and he was just getting layups where he could just steal or either just a quick pop, and that's what separated the game. Great coaching by that staff, and Louisiana Lafayette gets it done, man. -2 is covered, man. So we got another one down in the Ball and Parlay. We're on a good roll right now. Let's keep it up, man. It's our time of year, March Madness.
All right, let's move to the present. The Bucks, right? While I was doing the NBA rundown earlier, ruled out a couple big players. The line moved from -7 to -2. They'll be in Orlando taking on the Magic. You know me, I love superstar subtraction. Everybody's going to flock to take the Magic here, but this is still a pretty good Bucks team, right? I still got Brook Lopez. I still got Bobby Portis. Javon Carter's going to get some more minutes. Joe Ingles is going to be out there. So, a lot of people think the Bucks can't win without Giannis. I think they'll be just fine. I'm laying the 2 on the road against the Magic. What are your thoughts?
I'll probably be following you on that because, as you said, um, everyone is going to be thinking, since Giannis is out, is Holiday playing?
No Holiday either. They both got ruled
Oh,
out. So that's why I was mentioning Javon Carter. It's going to be his night to shine here. But I think he's been playing great so far for this team. Obviously, he doesn't put up the same offense. He's not as good defender either, but I don't think the drop-off is as much as people think. So I like his ability to get it done. A little more Grayson Allen. I'm not too excited about that, but he's a good
I'm
player.
not. I'm not a fan of Javon Carter, man. But
Really? That's funny.
nah, I'm
I
not.
like
He's
him.
he's stuck. He's stuck around in the league though. But the Magic are a really good home team, and they're coming off tough loss to the Blazers. So I'll probably stay away from it. If Holiday was playing, I'd be on the books with you. But since Holiday's not playing, I'm gonna just stay off this game and root for you.
All right, that's fair. Let's move on. The next game in the NBA, the Sixers +2 at the Timberwolves. I know I talked about the Sixers earlier and talked about how good I think they're playing, but I think this is kind of a schedule loss, right? So the
Yeah.
Sixers play that huge game against Milwaukee, get the emotional win. Last night, final score is 147 to 143. They were up and down the floor in Indiana, right? And I know
Right.
it's a short trip, But you turn around and you go and you're going to play a rested Minnesota Timberwolves team at home. Timberwolves have been playing well lately. I think they're finally finding themselves as a team. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, kind of, I thought it was just a throw-in that trade. But I can't remember who it was. One of their assistant coaches was on the Jazz, and I guess he really pushed for it. He said, this kid's
Right.
got a lot of potential, and you're not giving him the opportunity. Conley playing well as well, too. If both teams were at full strength, or this is a more neutral game, I'd be fine with taking the 76ers, but I think a lot of people are going to see, 76ers, they're the better team, which they are, right? I mean, 76ers have,
Right.
we don't believe in them, but they are a legitimate championship contender. The Timberwolves are not. But because of the schedule, I like the Timberwolves here to get it done. What do you think?
I'll be with you on the T-Wolves. I really like that team when Anthony Edwards is leading it. Long as Cat's out off the floor, not in the huddles,
He's
they're
going
a
to be
really
back in
good
like a
team.
week.
And watch, I guarantee you, watch they fall off. They're gonna lose a few games within that time, and I'm just waiting for it to come to a head when him and Cat go ahead. When Cat and Ant just go ahead and butt heads. It's coming sooner or later.
They get along pretty well. When they were in SAC, they were posting videos of them rolling around. And
Yeah, all of that sounds good because right now it's Anthony's team because Cat's clearly out the way. Let's see when Cat comes back, gets comfortable again as being the big dog because he is the one making the biggest check in that locker room.
yeah,
So let's see if he defers to him and kind of falls back and listens to him, or um, if it becomes he's trying to control the radio in the locker room. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see real soon what's going to happen, but I think that's coming to a head pretty soon.
yeah. I think this is a schedule loss here for the Sixers. One of the reasons why I think the NBA season is too long, but we'll take advantage of it until they fix that. Interesting game here, right? We already talked about John Morant being out. But, and you and I know, but I would say most regular NBA fans aren't aware. Tyus Jones is the best backup point guard in the NBA. Tyus Jones is a good player. His prop's only
Yeah,
15.5. That's one of the easiest bets on the board. He scored 20 points in just the third quarter against the Clippers.
right,
And his prop's
right.
15.5 tonight. I guess a little worried for the Grizzlies spending all this time in Los Angeles. But my guess is after that little incident, maybe
Yeah,
they're a little
scared
more chill,
straight.
right? Yeah, a little more chill here. So I would like the Grizzlies on the fact that everybody's underestimating it, but the Lakers have been playing really well. Anthony Davis scored 39 and 38 in his last two games. He's being the top 5 player that we've seen him be for flashes in his career. And maybe, he just needed Braun out of there to really take over. But he looked good when they beat the Warriors, almost beat the team single-handedly. Of course, they do have a better supporting cast now. This is a tough game for me. We talked about it this morning on the show. We did the playbook, and Tyler and I did not come away with the pick at all. Right now, I'm on the sideline here. Are you getting involved, and do you think there's like an angle I'm missing here when the Lakers host the Grizzlies?
Yeah, I like the Lakers in this game, man. I just don't think that the Grizzlies. I know that they say they played well without Ja Morant, but it's just not only do they not have Ja Morant, they're missing the big man still. And the big man makes a major difference when they don't have Ja. Then they can have the other pieces and he can still get those guys the extra possessions that they need. I don't like them with Xavier Tillman as the starting center. I think that the Lakers understand every game is very important right now, and they're gelling as a team and they're rallying with the fact that LeBron is out, and I think they like the pieces that they have amongst each other. And with AD being the main figure, them going inside out through him, not having to make sure that they get the ball. LeBron, he's so ball dominant, and Darvin Ham can kind of bring the Bucks philosophy to LA. They're really sharing the ball. They're really playing smart, getting a lot of threes up, getting a lot of good looks, and it all is coming off of AD's playing. And I think that Ham continues to give him momentum and continues to believe in him and work through him. And I think that the Lakers can win tonight.
Yeah, I think it's Lakers or pass. That's where Tyler and I landed. But just because of all the uncertainty around the Grizzlies team, and I do think they can play without Morant in the lineup. just so much uncertainty around this game, and there's so many better spots on the board. So I stayed away, but it was Lakers or pass when we talked about it. We ended up passing, but hey, maybe by the time they tip off, I'll be jumping in there with you. Let's move to the world of college basketball. The first round of the ACC tournament. It's weird seeing Notre Dame in a conference, right? But Virginia Tech
Yeah.
-6.5 against Notre Dame, member of the ACC. What are your thoughts here?
Okay, so the ACC turn is kicking off. Mike Brave's been a great coach. This is his final hurrah with Notre Dame. I don't think they're getting in any tournaments. I can't see them getting an NIT or anything. Their record is horrible. So their only chance is to win the tournament, which he has won the ACC tournament, which is an immense accomplishment at Notre Dame. Mike Bray's a good coach, man. May he have the best in his retirement because I think that it ends tonight. But I do like the over on this game. The last three times these teams have played, they've went over. It's at 144. I think that they put up some points. Notre Dame's horrible at defense, and they play with a lot of pace. Bray likes to play that NBA style since he started being a assistant with the Olympic team USA. So he loves to play the up tempo. Now plays a lot of NBA style basketball with Notre Dame. And they put points up, and I think that those guys are going to go out firing for him. So look at the over 144.5. I don't like a side on it.
All right, we're taking the over there, and I am fine with that. Let's move on. The game, we've been talking about this one for a little while, right? You said, hey, this is going to be the final. This is the final. How about this price, though? Is this what you expected? The Gonzaga only laying
No.
2.5, man. We thought we were going to get a little more on our comeback, didn't we?
Man, no, it's
Didn't we?
crazy.
Yeah.
Look, man, I thought that we were going to get a nice hedge. We're pretty much at the same number
St.
that we
Mary,
got.
St.
Cause
Mary's
yeah,
getting
I got
right
plus
back.
110. Same
Yeah.
this line is telling me St. Mary's is going to win the game. You know. So I think I'm just gonna ride out my ticket and probably go live. Maybe St. Mary's get a quick burst out the door in the first half, go up 10 points, and then I can grab Gonzaga. Now I'm in a great position. But as far as handicapping this game, that 2.5 is telling you that this is going to be tight because it's no way the public's not taking Gonzaga -2.5. They're going to be all over the Zag. So I'll probably be leaning St. Mary's plus 2.5, man, to pull the upset. Last night, San Francisco stayed around and gave Gonzaga all they wanted. The Zags are a good team. They just don't play good defense, man. And St. Mary's is very disciplined. They do play defense. So I think that a fired up uh, St. Mary's team gets it done, actually. I think St. Mary's covers the plus 2.5 and might win straight up.
All right, and that will be fun. It's a little weird for me on the college basketball schedule because because of the tournament format, we don't know the games till the day
Right,
of.
right, right, till the
But
day of. Yep.
a lot of fun. So we're going to the future. We just talked about St. Mary's, so we've gone over that. Of course, we have them at plus 110, and that was from the show last week. So hopefully you're there with us. Thought we were going to get a better price here, but we're not. Let's go ahead and just review the rest of them. Let's talk about some Villanova and what else do we got?
Providence.
All right, Providence is plus 1,800. What are your thoughts
Yeah,
here?
I went and bought a ticket, a futures ticket for the win the Big East on Villanova, and I think you put in one yesterday
Yep.
when I told you
Mm-hmm.
to. Remember it was plus 1,000. It's down to 850 now, and the reason why is because Villanova has their whole squad back. They're a veteran laden team. They can put the ball in the hole, and the only way that they probably make the tournament uh, is going to be to win the Big East. So they'll be really motivated. Those kids are very proud. It's the first year coach that's replacing a legend in Jay Wright, but he has his whole team back now. So I think that the Villanova makes a run in the Big East tournament. And also, I like Providence. Every year, Ed Cooley does a wonderful job. The reason why I like them is because they should be extremely motivated. Providence is one of the more solid programs in the Big East. They lost two straight games at home. They had the longest home winning streak going in college basketball in conference with the Big East. I think they had won like 24, 25 straight games. And now they've lost two straight on a blowout. I think that he's going to work them hard. This off week was really good for them because they're a really talented team. They're really well coached, and they always stir it up in the Big East tournament. Ed Cooley is OG, and I really like how he coaches that team. So plus 1800 is a steal because Providence was really one of the top dogs in the conference. I don't even understand the number, but I'll take it gladly and get a ticket on them as well.
Straight to the ball and parlay. Start with you. What do you got for us tonight?
Man, we're going with Long Beach State. I love these type of spots here where we got these cellar dweller teams in the conference tournament against the top dogs in the tournament. Usually the first halves have been great. I've been on Drake first half all through the tournament when they were in their conference. Montana State, I wrote them the other night. It's just a big advantage that some of these teams have on these guys who are the bottom tier teams. We're going with Long Beach State first half. Minus 5.5. They have an extreme advantage on Cal Poly. Cal Poly is one of the worst teams in college basketball. The Long Beach pound the glass on the offensive side. And Cal Poly, tell you how bad Cal Poly is. They were playing Riverside the other night. I'm watching the game. I bet Riverside live. Riverside's not that much better, but they're pretty good compared to them. Poly is like the bottom of the conference, right? The guys are down. They have 2 chances to win their only game ever in conference. They've lost so many games straight, it's ridiculous. They haven't won a game in conference this year. Kid goes to the free throw line. He can win the game at the line. They call a bogus call for him. He misses the second free throw. They go to overtime. Then they go to overtime. Cal Riverside hits 2 free throws, go up 3 points with 6 seconds left. They get a ball to their best player. He dribbles the whole court and does a layup. he didn't even have enough awareness to shoot a 3. Everybody on the team's looking at him like, what are you doing? It's like that's how bad Cal Poly is. So we're going to beat State first half minus 5.5. And what did you like tonight, Spread?
I'm going back to Tyus Jones, man. So I love my size and totals. For me to give out a player prop on the show, it's like that De'Aaron Fox where I'm just sitting here like, this number is way off. This number should be 20.
Right, I agree.
I bet a bookmaker, they moved the line.
Right.
They moved the line on me right after I placed it. They just moved the juice though, so 15.5 is still available. But yeah, man, I mean, he's so good. And regardless, if you want to go the other way, I think Anthony Davis has a big night too. I'm also on Anthony Davis over 29.5, but I really like Tyus Jones here. That's my favorite play of the night. So give me Tyus Jones over 15.5 points.
All right, so I'm going to be rolling with you on that one. We're going with Tyus Jones over 15.5.
What school did he go to? Do you know him from college?
Duke, yes. Him and his brother. My wife and I have been together a long time. I remember when he was in college playing in the finals and they lost. Who did they lose to? They lost the championship game to somebody, and I can't remember right now who it was. And he played his butt off, and he was a hell of a player in college, and we were on him. We had bet Duke that night, and they ended up not winning.
How many years has he been in the league? How long ago was that?
I'm going to say maybe he was in college at Duke 2015-ish.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. And then his brother came right after he left. He didn't do, I want to say, Tyus, did he do 2 years? He may have did 2 years. He either was one and done or 2 years. He's been a baller, man. He just, he on Memphis team, so they had him in Minnesota. They thought they were going to get him both because they were like, him and his brother were like the guys in Minnesota. They like the best basketball players. That plays for San Antonio.
Who, Trey Jones?
Yeah, that's his little brother.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's his little brother. Yep, that's his little brother. Minnesota has some good basketball coming out of there. You see the kid that plays for Orlando, he's from Minnesota too. Suggs, yeah, it's Terrell Suggs' little cousin. He's really good.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's Terrell Suggs' little cousin. Yep. A lot of ties, a lot of family ties, man. Like you always say, DNA is important, man.
Yeah.
Yep. We went a little long today, man. We were talking about a couple things, just vibing with you guys. I got to get to this basketball, man, to get it on the screen before something happens that I don't like. So let's go sweat this funny spread. Anything for the people before we get out of here?
No, I'm excited to keep breaking down these games. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, brother. Hey, man, best of luck to y'all. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We have a special guest on tomorrow.